last few days, I haven't been able to keep my big grubby hands out of the fat lady's pockets, and I'm talking about the Vyrelords, the Menaphos guards, and those fat kids in the Tazar Plaza. I am going to be trying to figure out the best way for me to get 200 mil thieving, as well as try and figure out, if it's even worth doing for you, because I guess if you click this video, you lazy bastard, go do it yourself. But I guess I'll do it for you, and we'll show you the loot and the setup and all the other stuff that you may care about. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much. Be sure to like, subscribe, all that jazz. Let's go into the loadout. Here is my loadout and inventory that I use for my pickpocketing escapades. Very first, let's start with the inventory. I have my feather figure necklaces. These prevent you from getting stunned or taking damage from pickpocketing. They have 10 charges, and so you're going to end up using these as you pickpocket for a long period of time, and this helps a ton. They're purchasable in the GE, and they actually didn't really think they'd be that useful, but the Tazars, the Menaphos guards, and honestly the Vyrelords, they all kind of catch you at some point, especially if you're doing this off of your thieving aura, and that helps a lot. I also brought a Abyssal Lurker that I use sometimes. You have to keep the buff up manually. It doesn't automatically proc, but I brought it in case I remember to. I have the Draken's Medallion if you have finished the quest line to unlock this thing and to get into the Vyrelord, the Draken area. To get to the Vyrelords, I use this way to teleport straight there. I have a Spiritual Attraction Potion for my Brooch of the God procs and be able to get some extra invention perks. I have a Slayer Cape and I have a Archaeology Cape. These are just teleports in case I need to get there. To get to the Tazar area, I use my Kiln Ring. If not, if you don't have that one, just use either a Fight Cave teleport from War's Retreat, or you can get an Amulet of Glory from the Grand Exchange, use the Karamja teleport, and then run to the Volcano. Editor Endemoos here. You do not need a Zaramorga's Nexus or the Archaeology book unless you're going to be Archaeology Professor pickpocketing. But I do realize I did forget to mention that you want to have Persistent Rage and the Ice Asylum ability unlocked for healing. Those things are going to be very useful when you're doing the Vyrelords. I highly recommend getting those. Those are going to be one of your best ways to get sustained and not die there as often. But we'll get into that later. But I forgot to cut those part out when I was making this bit, so you don't need those two things of the Nexus or the Archaeologies teleport unless you're deciding to go to Archaeology Professors. Let's go into the actual equipment now. I have the Master Camouflage outfit, which gives a 7% chance for double pickpocketing and a 7% chance to avoid getting stunned while pickpocketing. That is a very helpful thing to have. If you don't have this outfit, that is okay. I do recommend you slowly work towards it as you level up your thieving. Helps a ton. You can unlock it through the invention skill as you get more thieving components as you just continue leveling thieving. I have my feather necklace, of course. I have a grasping rune pouch for the spell Crystal Mask. This helps upkeep my pickpocketing as well as just prevents a attack when you're pickpocketing. This is unlocked through the Saren questline that gets you into Prifidus and a few other things as well. Highly recommend doing that questline before you start doing a bunch of other things. It's a kind of like a soft requirement, but you can get away without using it. Additionally, I have my Excalibur for some healing as we progress through. Additionally, we have a enhanced Excalibur for some occasional healing every now and then. This requires the Elite Seer's Village Diaries to be completed. Then I have the Mushy Pickpocketing Bag with the best in slot perks of Oblivious, Prosper, and then Efficient 4. And then for the very last piece of Resistance, I bought this halfway through my pickpocketing journey. I don't know if this is a requirement yet. Because I'm 120 thieving, it's a little hard to judge if it's how big of a difference it is. But I did notice I had less of a fail rate on the Menaphos guards and on the Vyrelords with the ring. And I also noticed it in Heist as well if you're doing those. Those are very, very helpful. I think this ring is low-key sleeper pick. I think it's a pretty good item. I recommend it. But again, if you have the 100 mil or whatever amount of money that you wish to spend on this, or if you're an Iron Man and you need a chase item, this is a really fantastic chase item in my opinion. But that is the full loadout that I have here. For the aura that I like to use, I use Legendary 5-finger discount. This provides me an additional 15% chance while I have it active, and you can reset it with 10 Viswax a day. If you're a Premier member, you can use your Premier Artifact to refresh it once per day. So that gives you a grand total with extensions of 4 hours of the Legendary 5-finger discount. And sometimes when you're doing the Vyrelords, specifically the Vyrelords, this is pretty clutch, not gonna lie, because it helps a lot. They're the highest requirement for thieving at 119, and these guys are pretty vigilant, not gonna lie. They have a pretty brutal little pass that you have to check every single time that you go and try and pickpocket them. So I find that if I'm doing Vyrelords, I have to have every single boost possible. So purchasing any of the 5-finger discount auras for your increased thieving chance is going to be a great addition as well. And that is the full build. I highly recommend it. Modify it however you need to. If you are going up as you're going up in your thieving, just kind of add these things as you can. If you don't have the master thieving outfit, use a lower version of it, and then just go from there. And then honestly, you should be good to go. You have some fail rates. The higher level you get, the higher your AFK rate's going to be. So just take that with a grain of salt and keep that in the back of your mind. We're going to be starting off with the Menaphos guards. Main reason why is because I heard they are a fantastic way to collect clue scrolls, which is something I've been looking for an alternative with instead of using big pages, because big pages cost around like 8 to 7 mil at any given time, and I don't really want to spend that much money to gather my clue scrolls. So I wanted to see if Menaphos guards, which are unlockable at level 104, alongside with access to Menaphos, these guys are, if these guys are going to end up being my replacement for my scripture of Bick for my clue scroll farming escapades. And here we are with the Menaphos guards. I've been here for about 3, maybe 4 hours, just about. A few times. It's honestly just whenever I have time, like when I'm on my phone or something. It's very, very easy to set up. Again, in the max setup with the beautiful Ring of Vitter, I've actually quite liked this one, especially for the heist and for the pickpocketing. It's made it very easy, along with the legendary aura and these beautiful feather-fingered necklaces. In total, though, I was mostly here for the clue scrolls, but we've actually made a pretty decent penny while here, and some reputation for the trim requirement to get like max reputation here. Bam! 13.7 mil, and on average a 1.3 mil XP, which even after the hot nerf for sticky fingers and for pickpocketing in general, it kind of good. I think it's like exceptionally good. Again, that's with the buffs and everything. That's kind of making it easier to make sure that you're able to get as many pickpockets and as many successes as you possibly can. But I like it a lot. It's been going pretty good with a grand total, and then going into the clue scrolls with a grand total of 45 hearts, 44 elites, and 1 lonely medium. Not too bad, dude. The money I spent on getting this set up was practically nothing. The most money I spent was on the ring, and not really even trying to make my money back from this. I made the money back from doing heist instead, and it's just kind of paid for itself. But offer all of my reputation for this bad boy. So then those are the small, and that's 10,000 rep for the Imperial District. And then offering the mediums, we have another 12.6k added to that. So I actually quite like these guys. It's very easy without having to spend big. It's very easy to get the clue scrolls from here, even if you and then it's very easy. It's very easy to get clue scrolls from here, especially without using a scripture of Bick, and that's usually how most people get their clue scrolls. This is great. I think this is a really good way, because this is at least like maybe like 7 to 8 master clues, and then this is maybe like 5, maybe 2 or 3 master clues from the hearts, and then maybe like 7, 8 from the elites. I'll take that, dude. That's easy money, and I'm pretty happy about that. Up next is the beautiful Tazar traders. These guys have a rare chance of dropping a I don't know how to say any of these Tazar fake ass words, and there is a brand new amulet that increases your melee abilities and well, not your abilities, your overall, like, I guess your damage and output with it. And I wanted to see if I'm going to get lucky picking one of these bad boys up, and also how the actual loot is. These guys drop a ton of gems. I wanted to see the grand total of what I ended up with after doing about 2 to 3 hours of pickpocketing from them, and I'm excited to show you the beautiful results. I didn't record my entire time doing these guys because it was actually quite easy. I'm actually kind of surprised they're a little easier than I expected them to be for being 111 thieving, but I guess when you're at 120, it's a little simpler because these guys are actually, you can pretty much cap out on everything. But there are the other people that I was seeing here at around like 115, 114 thieving, and they were getting caught. So using a crystal, a ice asylum crystal to be able to heal yourself up, or using a enhanced Excalibur will help a ton. Again, it is just one of those things that, like, as you level up, it'll get easier, so you gotta pay a little bit more attention. But it is a nice goal that once you hit 118, 120 thieving, you're gonna be able to get here without any kind of problems. I was actually quite surprised with how many gems I was also picking up while doing these at such a quick rate. I forgot to show it in the final price check, but I did remember that I picked up just about like 100,000 toggle from these guys, so that's actually not that bad. I mean, I was actually pretty surprised about how much toggle you were getting, because most of the people you're pickpocketing, you get like hard cold cash, but these guys, they obviously drop their fake pebbles, so you just pick those bad boys up, and it's not that bad, man. Last but not least, the final bad boy on the list, the Vyrelord consumer. These bad boys are the highest level pickpocketing NPC in the game, with a requirement of 118 and access to Darkmire, which requires the branches of Darkmire questline to be completed. These are probably going to be the most profitable NPCs to do because they have a chance of dropping a Ring of Vitter, which provides a +5 Thieving bonus and a +5 Hunter bonus, alongside making all of the Vyrelords inside of Darkmire, where the Darkmire consumer, Darklore consumer, where the Vyrelord consumer is located, making it a much easier AFK method. I would actually recommend not doing Vyrelords without using the Ring of Vitter, or if you have a Darkmare, Darklord, or if you have the House of Draken outfit from the quest still, you can use that to de-aggro all of the NPCs, but that comes at the cost of your Master Camouflage outfit, which is a +7 chance for double loot from the pickpockets, alongside with the +7 chance to negate a stun. It's kind of a big trade-off, but the being able to drop aggro is a pretty big deal in this area, because when you don't have it, it is pretty brutal. So I do recommend getting either a ring to invest into this training method from 118 to 120, or if you're going to be going for 200 mil, or if you just need an AFK moneymaker from skilling. But we're going to do a couple more hours of these bad boys and see what we end up with. I've been pickpocketing these beautiful little level 118 Vyrelord consumers, and honestly, this setup is doing fantastic. Here is the inventory, same thing as what we showed earlier, and with a little bit of free space. The thing that I did forget to mention, though, is the Blessed Flask, so that you're able to maintain your prayer. And then the prayers that I'm using here that's causing this beautiful little glow is called Light Form. Doubles the chance of Siren spells, doubles the chance of Siren spell effects activating when using abilities. Now, honestly, the ability counts as when you're doing, like when you have the crystal mask floating around and ready for you. Dude, I don't know why this thing, but this does count for your ability. So just make sure that this procs more often. So like if Lady decides to take a swing at me, it's more likely to get blocked by the crystal mask, which is pretty decently. And then as my prayer continues to tick down, I just take one quick sip of the Blessed Flask, and then we're good to go, dude. And honestly, I'm pretty surprised with how good the experience is even after the nerfs here, and I am averaging around 1.6 million XP on the tracker, on both trackers, dude. I'm pretty happy about that. It's going pretty good, and as long as you have these buffs active, it's going good. But I will not do this method if you did not have the legendary 5-finger discount or activated. It's just you're gonna get pimp slapped too much, and it's just too much of a pain in the butt. But this has been a very easy AFK method, and as your level 118, like your very last push, I think it's a pretty decent reward. It's a pretty decent grind. It's nice having the chase item of a Ring of Vitter to be able to go for that grind, because I think it's quite nice to have something to go for when you're skilling. You know what I mean? So it's a nice little paycheck, just rewarding you for trying to make some easy cash. You know what I mean? So honestly, it's going pretty good. I'm excited for that final price check. In case you didn't know, World 91 is the official thieving and heist worlds. So if you ever want to do some skilling but want to see other people as well, be sure to hop onto World 91 and go in that beautiful little gaggle of thievery. And here we are with a final price check from the Vyrelords, Tazar, traders, and the Menaphos guards. First, we're going to start off with the Menaphos guards. These guys were pretty good, and just a little caveat, this is as accurate as I could get. I wasn't really recording these things like intentionally. I just kind of started doing pickpocketing. I was like, you know what? I might as well do it and make a little video for it. So I apologize. I did my best to approximate how much this was, but this is as close as I can get. I guarantee you're not going to track every single piece of loot you're going to get, so bear with me. All right, starting with the Menaphos guards, we got a ton of stuff from there. We did the price check earlier, but let's do this one more time, dude. Got a bunch of water skins, pretty decent for Iron Man. The Blessed Sand, right here, the extra fine sand. You made this for Blessed Sand. It's for the Blessed Flask. So that's why these things are going to maintain their value. I'm really surprised I got so many of them. 8 mil from that alone. And then the Vital Sparks are great because it unlocks the Limitless ability, which is great for PVM. Huge upgrade for that one. Picked up 23 of those bad boys for 5 mil on that one. And honestly, the main thing for the Menaphos guys really are the clue scrolls. The hard clue scrolls and the elite clue scrolls, honestly, I'm very happy with that. You'll probably make a lot of more money doing these guys and then doing your clue scrolls than any of these other guys combined, just because clue scrolls just have such a high price that to all the things you can get. You can get fortunate, you can get lucky, you can get a die, you can get anything else that can jump that value up tenfold. So if you're a clue hunter or trying to get into clues, highly recommend it. Great time. And then next up we have is the total for the Tazar traders. Again, unfortunately, did not get lucky to get any of the amulet pieces like this lucky fellow right here. This guy just picked up the thing I was talking about. Hold on, can't move it. Yeah, this guy just picked up the Sea Pebble, picked up the Yaltok YouTube drop, which is amazing. I was not lucky enough to pick up one of those bad boys, and apparently there was a buff that make them a little bit more common. Jaggers was like, yo, dude, we're not seeing them as much as we'd like, so hopefully that buff is noticeable, and you guys can get a little luckier than I did. I did about 3 to 4 hours of those bad boys, give or take, again, with aura, again, with max stuff. So your mileage will vary depending on what level and gear that you have at the time. But we picked up a lot of gems. Like, this is a lot of gems from the beautiful Tazar folk. I actually don't think I got that many. I would say I probably got like 1,000 of the diamonds as well. Not more on par with what the other ones got. But honestly, a pretty even split of all of them. 6.1 mil on that, but a ton of free crafting XP just from those 1,000 right there. We also picked up a lot of Onyx Bolt tips, which will honestly carry most of the load here. 12.7 mil from those bad boys. I'll take it. Not too bad, but again, your bottom dollar will get better if you get lucky with the amulet piece, which is going for about 30 to 50 mil or so. I'm sure when someone covers it and and someone finds a super niche reason for it, those very few people that want to buy it or just collecting things in general will want to jack that price up. We'll see how it ends up falling though. And then lastly, we got the Vyrelord consumers. These guys were kind of a pain in the butt, not gonna lie, man. These guys killed me the most and probably were the most inefficient amount of pickpockets for me, because you have to keep a lot of things up. You have to keep pretty much all of your buffs up. You got to make sure that you're paying attention to it. And honestly, they're not as AFK, but the XP is pretty decent. All of these things, I think I averaged the Vyrelords, because you kept getting hit, knocked back, or you died or had to come back. I averaged around like 1.4 mil, 1.2 mil XP from them. Again, for an AFK activity, that's insane. You're going to fly through 120 thieving in no time, honestly, if you're just going to be doing AFK pickpocketing. But again, did not get lucky with the Ring of Vitter, unfortunately, even though we did buy one midway through this and use it to get a little bit better chance to see if it was worth it. I think it was pretty decent. I enjoyed it, and I thought it was a noticeable change. It helped offset when I didn't have time on Aura, and it did save me a lot of time with deaths and failures and stuff. But for the grand total for the Vyrelord consumers, we picked up 5.3 mil. Again, pretty decent supplies. Wood and stone spirits are paying to get as an Iron Man account, or just to get in general. So it helps a lot to be able to get these from an alternative source. And then you also got some reliable alchables. They're ruby necklaces. I'm not going to lie, I don't remember what these are for. I think used for porters, which is very good, again, for Iron Men. And you have a different way to get blood runes and death runes. Again, a really nice alternative than going to rune crafting and just making these yourself. Great way to get to subsidize how you get some of your supplies. And honestly, for myself, I'll end up probably using most of these, throwing a few of these in the Alker, probably to sell the ruby necklaces. But again, not that bad. Not that bad at all. I'm pretty happy what we got in total. But let's do a full price check from about 9 to 10 hours of pickpocketing after the 120 update. And we have a grand total of 36.6 million gold added in after all that beautiful stuff. I'm happy about it, but not gonna lie, I paid 101 mil for the Ring of Vitter, and that did not get paid off, unfortunately. But if I continue to do this, which I probably will, because as I'm editing videos, I need some of the AFK, this is a really easy way to make some money. Has a chase item with it. I wanted collection log slot in case they do add a global collection log slot. I think it does a pretty decent job, and I'm really, really happy with it. I think there's a really good alternative to, like, if you still want to do thieving and you don't want to do heist or something like that, it's fantastic. I have not seen many people doing the stalls. However, I don't know if the loot is much better or much better XP, but I think pickpocketing has been a-okay with me. And that's pretty much what I got. We didn't get lucky on any of the unique items, which is unfortunate, so I'm going to keep on thieving. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to subscribe and like for more. I make all types of RuneScape things, and I stream. I like streaming a lot more than actually making YouTube videos, so please come by for those. That's why I made this stupid channel anyways. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you later, man.